Around 2:20 this morning, the Sheriff's Office was called out actually to an abduction in progress at 8030 Old Kings Road to the Ravenwood Apartments. It's apartment over my left shoulder here. They responded to a call from a male. He's a caregiver for 2 children. One's a female, a white female, 5 years old, and another one is a 21-month-old male child. He is in a relationship with both of the kids' mothers. The mother works at a restaurant bar, and she was at work when this occurred. He was actually leaving the apartment at that time of the morning to go pick up mom, who had just gotten off of work. He takes the kids and puts the kids in the car, realizes that he needs to go back into the apartment for something, walks back up into the apartment, leaving both of the kids in the car. It's really unclear at this point in time if the 21-month-old was secured in the car or not. There was a car seat in the car, but we don't have clear evidence at this point in time to say whether or not he was buckled in the seat belt or buckled in the seat or not. So he goes back into the apartment. He's up there for what we don't know to be a short time or a long time, but the 5-year-old who was left in the car, it was dark out and she became scared. So she got out of the car, went back into the apartment and told him, "Hey, I'm scared." So at that point in time, he stopped what he was doing, went back downstairs and noticed that the car was not there. He looked to the parking lot and could see his car driving away. It is a distinctive car. It was a 1995 orange Honda Civic. So within 2 minutes of him calling the police, patrol officers arrive on the scene and begin to search the area. As they search the area, within about 15 to 20 minutes, about 4 blocks from where the original call was received, we found the car. The car was abandoned. The keys were in the vehicle, and 21-month-old child was not in the car when the car was recovered. As they began to search the area, detectives were called to the scene, and we began to work through the requirements for us to issue an Amber Alert. There are certain requirements that the state requires for there to be an Amber Alert. As we began to work through some of those questions and answers, we got an Amber Alert issued early this morning, got that information out, got a picture of the child out to the media. Since that point in time, we've had the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Air Unit, K-9 units. We have bloodhounds from our Corrections Division, State of Florida Department of Corrections bloodhounds, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, as well as the Federal Bureau of Investigation have all been partnered up with us to search for this child. We're looking at financial records that involve the caretaker of the children to see where he went. He is cooperative with us at this point in time. He went with detectives and is being interviewed at the Police Memorial Building, as well as the child's mother. Time has progressed. We're now working on 12 hours since this occurred. Time is of the essence. There are things that occurred that we need to figure out what happened. We have a 4-block radius from where the car was recovered to where this occurred. There's several residential locations are within here. We have made our attempts to knock on every door. We've also used a reverse 911 system that places an auto call to all the homes within that residence. I reach out now to any other resident that lives in this immediate Briarwood neighborhood who maybe we didn't make contact with, who has some information as to where this child is. This is a 21-month-old, 20-pound, blonde-haired, blue-eyed little boy. You've got the picture that's out there. We believe this to be an abduction, and we're working actively this case as an abduction. Believe that somebody may have this child. The child was not in the car, was not in the scene. We had to work several angles, and we continue to do so. The possibility existed, and still may exist, that where the car was recovered, this child is mobile. The child got out of the car and began to walk away from there. That could have also occurred from the time that his sister went from the car back up to the apartment. Could he have gotten out and toddled around? With this time that's gone by, we feel like if somebody would have seen that child toddling around, they would have called the police and we would have the child recovered. Again, part of our search efforts have involved our dive team. There's several little bodies of water. There's a swimming pool in the apartment complex. We have made our efforts to search every one of those. Our grid search that starts here begins to move out from here as time progresses, and we don't find this child. So I'm working 2 different types of investigations here. One, is it a missing child that walked off from 2 different locations, or is it an abducted child case? Y'all play a key role into the recovery of this child, getting the picture of that child out to outlets throughout the state. I know we have some out-of-town news agencies that are here. That information helps to get that out, and people seeing that and calling with what they have. We're going to follow up on every tip that comes through. Unfortunately for us, there may be a lot of a lot of missed calls when it comes to this, that somebody's going to see somebody with the blonde-haired, blue-eyed child. We'll run those calls down when they come through. Information getting out to the public and that getting back to us is key to solving this. I will do my best to answer some questions now.
Chief, have you talked to the 5-year-old little girl? What is she saying?
She has been cooperative. Unfortunately, this little girl was up all night. We used the child protection team, which does a forensic-style interview with the kid. The child was able to provide some detail, but it was clear that she was tired, she hadn't eaten, she'd been up all night. We're giving the child now some time to kind of get some rest. We're going to regroup this afternoon and try to hit that again to get more details. We didn't get the details we were hoping to get from that, and you can only expect so much from obviously from a 5-year-old child who feels some guilt towards leaving her little brother.
Why was she scared?
Well, it's dark. You know, kids are afraid of the dark. It's dark out there. It's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Any idea how long the children were left in the car when he was in the house? Not
really clear on that timeline. It doesn't appear all that long. But again, that timeline really kind of depends on what the child says and some of what the male caregiver says, and we're really not clear on what that timeline is.
The evidence you've gathered so far, does it back up the details as provided by the boyfriend at this point?
It does to a point, but we're still trying to work through some of those details. You know, there was some time last night that he went out and washed some clothes at a laundromat, so we've got to do that. There was a place that he purchased some gas. Those are all things that we're trying to cover, to find video from those locations, to find whatever information that we can based on the information that we have. So,
was there any lag time with?
The public can, if they see this child, if they have any information as to who these people are and any history that they may have about it. Knowledge is power. The more knowledge we have, the more power we have to putting this together. You know, we have our resources that we're able to use. The public has some resources as well, and if they can reach out to us with what they may have, that could help us.